Hey guys, Sean Murphy here. Thank you so much for the request. And let me tell you this, from one podcast to another, you can use this for your intro if you want. So if you're ready, here we go. Snooker Loopy, nuts are we, me and him and them and me. We'll show you what we can do with a load of balls and a snooker cue. Pop the reds and screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Snooker Loopy, nuts are we, we're all Snooker Loopy.
Hello and welcome to the one table setup. All eyes are on me and Joe in the Snooker Loopy one table Crucible. We're here, it's just me and Joe surrounded by, well, an ever expanding number of people at the Crucible. It's getting bigger and better all the time. But who is Joe? I keep saying his name too early because I'm just so excited to chat to my mate every evening. Of course, he's got many nicknames. Roughly, I mean, there must have been at least 90 odd so far. But today he's going to be the Duchess of Doom, Joe Hannard.
Well, a very good evening, Hazel, and a good evening, everybody. It has been a fabulous Thursday at the Crucible. Not a titillating Thursday, but, you know, a good Thursday nonetheless. Thursdays are weird. We always say this on the podcast, but obviously the opening session to the semi-finals, the one table setup, as you say, and pretty much everything that could have happened has happened today, including something that I've never ever seen before, which we'll get onto in a bit. But did you enjoy the snooker and being able to just focus in on that one table today?
It was fantastic. I had to catch up on most of the Murphy Higgins match later, but I just kind of watched a few little short clip videos on YouTube just to make sure I was all caught up on it. And just something special about the two players both coming in and having the whole arena around them, all watching, all the eyes are just on these two in the middle. It's I think even though you're just watching it at home, it still feels special just to be watching it at home. It just feels like a very different atmosphere because there's nothing happening in another table that can distract you, and you just know that this is the only match happening right now. You're not in your head. You know, I've quite often during the earlier rounds, I'll be watching one match and I'll be checking my phone to sort of keep up with the other match on the other table. Or I know some people even have two screens at once, Joe. They have a TV and a laptop, and I couldn't do that. I think I just wouldn't be able to focus properly. I'd rather just enjoy.
I have been doing that actually in the evening sessions. Have you? On both screens, yeah.
Can you do that? Can you still sort of enjoy both matches at once?
Yeah, I think, you know, I have a main match where I'll listen to the commentary and then I'll have the other one on the other screen. I've been enjoying that this tournament. I mean, there's something special about the Crucible when it's down to one table, and it actually feels massive. I think when it goes down to that one table, you wouldn't imagine that they need to make it much bigger than that. And I really hope we don't lose the sort of feeling of the Crucible in the big revamp. It is something that makes me very nervous about the future of this great championship. But there's nothing quite like semi-final Thursday and having that first time where the cameramen can roam free and you get that big wide shot where it comes in from the crowd over the table. They love doing that big swooping camera movement. But it obviously comes with its issues as well. The first time in my memory, there was a power cut at the Crucible this evening. And quite a bizarre few minutes of action. BBC completely cut their coverage. I went to check on Eurosport or TNT, and their coverage was also cut for a little bit. And then it seemed to be that somebody either they hacked into the CCTV footage or whatever, but TNT managed to get a really pixelated view of the table, so we could still watch Mark Allen making his break. It was hilarious.
Even more hilarious was what was on the BBC, because they didn't have coverage for a bit. So for about 3 minutes, it was just a screen saying BBC Two has technical issues. We'll return to your program soon. And then there was about a 10-minute long program all about sheep, Joe. It was wonderful.
Well, I assumed it was Coast, to be honest. They always put Coast on after the snooker, don't they? So I assume that's what it was. I might be wrong. But yeah, it was a funny thing to happen. I don't know exactly what it was like being in the arena. The way John Parrott put it was that there was a big crash bang wallop in the arena, and then Mark Allen just played on anyway. Apparently that happened again during the next frame, and they sort of lost the sound. It was all very weird for a bit. But yeah, the show went on, and they managed to get it sorted for after the interval. But yeah, that was a first, probably the first since Catch the Pigeon.
Well, probably, or the first since the Just Stop Oil protests with Walker hoovering the table.
Yeah, I don't know which one happened first out of those two. Was it Catch the Pigeon or Just Stop Oil?
They're very, very close to each other, weren't they? And
Yeah.
Mark Allen, as they mentioned, was involved in the Just Stop Oil. He wasn't involved in it. He wasn't.
Well, was he involved in Catch the Pigeon? I know Yan Bingtao was obviously there.
It was all part of the scandal, I believe.
Was Mark Allen involved? So I mean, that would be confirmation then, wouldn't it? That it's basically his fault. But
I don't. They've not said what caused the power cut, but instantly in my head, I just thought, I bet Dennis has had a drink and just fallen into something. Do you know what I mean? And it's just
yeah. Somebody's spilt a drink on a plug socket or whatever, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably Rob Walker. He runs around backstage. He's probably tripped over and had a really comedic fall.
or it's just Dennis going, I'll tell you what, Hazel, let's see what this button does. No, Dennis, no. He presses.
He'll go, tell you what, Hazel, these plug sockets are tight. But
he just yanks it out, and Hazel goes, no,
Denny. But yeah, first session of the day was, of course, against 2005 world champion Sean Murphy, probably player of the tournament so far, taking on John Higgins, who came through that quite intense match with Neil Robertson last night. He's had a difficult old time so far. Ali Carter in the first round, Roddy O'Sullivan in round 2, Neil Robertson round 3, and now Sean Murphy. But it wasn't the best standard of session, was it, Tom?
It wasn't great. It wasn't similar to most of Higgins' last few matches, where we build it up and expect it to be clashes of two legends, and for whatever reason it just gets a bit cagey, a bit tight, and he manages to sort of scrap his way to be drawing. I don't think it's entirely his fault. It's just, but it just seems to be what's happened in his matches so far. And yeah, I hope it'll be a bit better tomorrow. But interestingly, Sean Murphy put something on Instagram, and it was him sort of saying, this is what happens after you win a match at the Crucible. And it was him sort of going, oh, you have to do interview with the BBC, you have to do interviews with TNT, you have to then chat to the press and the journalists. And he said all this stuff takes like well over an hour. So it's crazy when you think how late the players finish. And then if they still have to do that, and I mean, someone like Higgins is well past his bedtime, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and you know, then they have to come and speak to the Snooker Loopy podcast, and they have to do a cue the music and a cue the laughter and a quiz Wakeling before they go to bed.
Yeah, I know. It's not fair at all, is it?
It's not fair. That's why we haven't done it this World Championship. But yeah, that's the only reason. It'll be back next year. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, not the best session. I guess 4-all was fair. Murphy looked like he was going to forge ahead, but possibly missed a trick. But you know, it's very early in the match to think that. But Murphy probably played the slightly better of the two. But Higgins, just you have to scrape him off the table, don't you? He's just an incredible competitor and an absolute master at coming out of sessions with more frames than he should have. I think that's something that somebody like Mark Selby has lost over the last few years, Higgins has still got that.
And I wonder how a player loses it or why they lose it. And I mean, they always say if Higgins could bottle it or whatever, do you know what I mean? All the other players would want to buy it, and so not bottle it, as in bottle that essence, because he doesn't bottle it, but he does bottle it when he gets to the final. He needs to stop saying bottle it because it's not making any sense the more I say it. But if he could bottle that essence of that grit and that tenacity and sell it to other players, it would be priceless, because so many players don't have it. And it's been interesting hearing Stephen Hallworth commentate and him sort of say, oh, this is what the top players are really good at. And it must be a really strange perspective to have as a player who is still striving to improve and to even think of reaching the top 64 and get better, but then be there sat commentating on players who are so much better than what your game's currently at. Well, it must be so weird, because it's not like you're someone who's retired who Hendry could say what he wants, he can criticise a shot or whatever, but Stephen Hallworth has to go qualify for the next tournament. Do you know what I mean? So
it's a real strange one, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, you can obviously say players like Dominic Dale are commentators, Lee Walker, of course, Joe Perry, are players that have never won the World Championship but do commentate. And it was quite funny the other day when Hossein Vafai was doing his interview, and he sort of came out and started talking about his game, and he was like, "Oh, but I shouldn't speak about it. You guys are much better at speaking about that because you've been there and done it." Speaking to Joe Perry and Steve Davis, and Joe Perry must have been sat there thinking, "Oh, you think I'm in Steve Davis's league?" But yeah, I get what you're saying about Stephen Hallworth. He did say some nonsense today, I must say, because he said, "Oh, Mark Allen's been on it right from ball one in this tournament, coming back from 6-4 down against Zhang Anda." And I'm thinking, well, if he's been on it since ball one of the tournament, then he wouldn't have been 6-4 down against Zhang Anda. So you've completely contradicted what you were saying, bless him. But I think he's improved massively throughout the tournament, and he can only improve from sitting next to these really great commentators from over the years. I don't think we've had Stephen and Dennis yet, because they're both the lead commentators, aren't they? Which is amazing for Stephen Hallworth. But I was thinking that's probably his first time sat in the arena in the one table setup. That like tonight when the players were coming down, that must have been such a buzz for him.
That's what I mean, though, because it must be real mixed emotions, because part of you would literally be going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here commentating on this massive moment. That's amazing. But then surely there's part of him that goes, oh, I wish I was out there playing. I wish I was part of this. And for most commentators, they're not thinking that, because they've had their time, most of the classic ones, like the, Hendry or something. He's like, well, I've done it, blah, blah, blah. But if you've not done it yet, I don't know. I guess you just say, well, that's the second best. Is it that thing where you go, well, that might not happen, so at least I get to experience it and be part of it, which is still incredible. And still, with someone who loves snooker, which most players do, you still would go, actually, I'd rather be part of it than be like loads of players who lose in Judgment Day and then are probably sat watching at home in their normal rooms, whereas he's still a big part of it.
He's still a part of it, and he's going to be on the airwaves to millions of viewers over this weekend, and I believe that WST used the BBC footage as their sort of world feed, if you like. So, hundreds of millions of people that are tuning in, especially if Wu makes a final, are going to be tuning in to that footage, and Stephen Hallworth is going to be commentating on it, and that's amazing for him. And I just hope it sort of inspires him a little bit, and having players like Hendry and Steve Davis possibly giving him a few pointers himself for his own game. I'll be interested to see how he does next season after this little little journey into the BBC team.
Yeah, it's really interesting because in my head, usually, obviously, when players are moving towards the commentary box, it's because retirement's impending. And, I think players like Adam McManus basically retired instead of going to Q School because he wanted to focus on commentary. He could have still probably got through Q School, but he was like, I just want to focus on broadcasting. Whereas with Stephen Hallworth, he's a very unique example. And so it's going to be fascinating to see if he does to have a good season and cracks into the top 64, is there going to become a point where he goes, I want to prioritise playing ahead of that? Or will it always be, well, I just want to be involved in snooker and get paid either way, which is entirely fair and justified, because who doesn't? And maybe he'll just take what he can do and do what he can get. And in a sense, it might take the pressure off the playing because, well, I'm still going to get a paycheck.
Yeah, well, all the very best to him. He's a really lovely guy, and we're definitely going to try and get him on the podcast because we'd love to speak to him and sort of ask those things, I guess, and see where he's at with it all. But speaking of Stephen Allworth, he was commentating on the evening session tonight, Mark Allen versus Wu Yize. Before we get into what the match is, where do you stand on the whole woo stuff?
I quite like it because I've never heard a snooker player have a chant before. I think it's quite good, but I think my problem with it is that not enough people do it, and so it always feels a bit stilted and a bit weird. If everyone did it when he won the frame, then it would be incredible. But it always feels a bit half-hearted, and like a few people are doing it, and a few other people are going, "Why are you doing that?" So I'm not too sure about it. What do you think of it?
Well, it's very similar to the sort of root from cricket, isn't it? I guess my slight worry about it is how much he understands that it's not people taking the mick. I don't know. Does he see it as people being supportive? Because he's looked a little bit sheepish when he's waving at the crowd when they're going woo. So I don't know whether he fully sort of understands it. I know he doesn't speak very good English, so I don't know if anybody's been able to sort of tell him, look, it's out of affection. I don't know. I have no idea.
I imagine someone has said that to him at some point because it was a thing I first saw in the shootout where people were doing it quite a lot during his matches. I'm sure I've heard the commentator say something like, don't worry, Woo, we'll make sure you know they're saying woo, they're not booing. They're saying woo earns, not boo earns, it's fine. And so I imagine he knows, but at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean he likes it. I don't really know if he likes it.
It's just a sort of, I don't know whether culturally it's a thing in China to sort of chant like that. Do you know what I mean? Like you're at a football match. Because obviously football's not a massive sport in China, like if it is here. So I don't know whether it's just a bit weird for him to be chanted.
Also, it's a strange thing culturally for snooker as well. So
yeah, exactly. So it's all a little bit odd.
Yeah, I mean, he goes, "I'm the only player who's got this chant." It'd be like, why isn't it? If everyone else had a chant, I mean, Ronnie's got "Come on, Ronnie," but that doesn't quite.
Ronnie.
That's like a little catchphrase. People say it a lot. Do you know what I mean? But no one else has got their own thing that people do. So he must be.
Mark.
I think the strange thing is because he doesn't respond to it. Do you know what I mean? If they were doing it and he was going like, yeah, put his hands to his ears,
and if he was doing the big Smurf 360 while he's doing it, then I'd feel like, right, okay, he loves it. Let's keep going. I feel a bit uneasy about it. That's what I would say. I love it as a concept. I don't know if everybody is fully genuine with it. I don't know if he is this popular yet. Or whether people are just sort of jumping on the bandwagon with it, and I don't know if he likes it, and that's where I feel uneasy about it. But hey, we've never seen that at the Crucible before. I mean, next they'll be going yellow.
I do hope there will be, Joe. I think that's what we need. We need a shot clock. We need 10-minute frames at the Crucible. It'll be a much quicker tournament.
Yes. By the way, we are 100% joking about that. We do not believe that. We would go back to the best of 151 frames if we could. We love the long format snooker, and we are snooker traditionalists till the end of time. Dickie Bowen waistcoat for every tournament, in my opinion. So, yeah. before we get the pitchforks pointed at us. But Wu, I mean, what a performance tonight. He came out of the blocks incredibly, didn't he? You know, one visit Wu in that first frame. Second frame, Mark Allen was in, scored 50-odd points. Wu came back and nicked that second frame, 2-0. Then we had all the power cut malarkey. And Mark Allen came back to level up at 2 frames apiece at the interval. But after that, Wu, just some incredible breaks after the interval. And he's got a meaty lead now. 6-2 is pretty good at this stage of the match.
It is. A lot could happen, of course. Very, very long matches in the semi-finals, but it's a handy lead to have, and it's handy, I think, just for his own, belief going forward, that he settled so quickly, and he didn't look like missing for most of the second half of the session. His pot percentage must have been huge. It was insane. Even when he'd already finished making the break, he was still potting off the lampshades. He was exceptional, really, absolutely exceptional, and it does make me wonder what Mark Allen could do to stop it, because he didn't seem to have many ideas. He seemed to be a lot of time sat in his seat for most of the second half of the session, and it'll be really interesting to see how it continues tomorrow.
Absolutely. Fingers crossed. We see Mark Allen close the gap, and we can see a close match going forward, and Wu continues that performance, because it was brilliant, and I really love watching him play. He really has become one of my absolute favourites in this tournament. So tomorrow, of course, we have got the second session of John Higgins and Sean Murphy in the morning, so they're bright and early at 10 o'clock. Then Wu and Mark Allen are there in the afternoon with their second session. And then, of course, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, we are going to be live on the airwaves with our alternative commentary to the John Higgins-Sean Murphy match, which really, really excited for that third session, commentating on it. And we will do our best to honour the great JV and the great WT, Ted Lowe, all of the fabulous commentators, and channel them all into one.
Yes.
Yes, Lee Walker. Well, I'm going to pretend he didn't say that. But yeah, any sort of final words on the day's play before we move on to our regular sections?
Well, one final thing I'll just play you quickly, Joe. It's another little voice message I got from my grandpa, because I asked him. I said to him, it was a shame that Ronnie went out, but who are you rooting for now we're to the final four? So I'll just play you what he sent. He talks quite slowly. I think it's not because he's 95. I think it's because when it's a voice memo, he for some reason thinks he has to talk slowly. But I hope you and the listeners enjoy this.
I'm not sure. Who follow? I just don't want Sean Murphy to win it. He's such a pompous player. I favoured the young boy in that one.
Ding Tong.
Sad he failed at the end. I wouldn't be surprised if John Higgins isn't in the final.
Okay.
There's nobody seems to be able to stop him. That I don't mind. Love, Grandpa.
There we go.
Thank you, Grandpa Mayhew there. Yeah, that was lovely. So he doesn't like Sean Murphy then, eh?
He thinks he's a pompous player, yeah.
A pompous player. I think a lot of people probably agree with that.
Yeah. That's good though. I like to think we're balancing out the viewpoints because we tend to like Sean, but it's good to remind people that, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So shall we get straight into one of our regular sections then and cue the music, Tom?
Yeah, let's cue the music. And this is another one from the. Well, it's not the Banksy album. He doesn't like us calling it that because he's just part of it. He's one of the many people. But Banksy and Friends made this album. That's what I think of it as. It's of course the Where's the Cue Ball Going? The John Virgo tribute album, which you can get on Bandcamp. I think we should always remind people they can do that. All the money goes to the Jessie May Trust, which is the World Snooker linked charity. So really good cause. And this one, Joe, is it's Virgo the Entertainer by Francis Binns. I don't know how we review this one, Joe, because I mean, was it related to snooker in any way? Was that a tune that's related to snooker that I should know?
I don't know. Was it not a really, really slow version of the, like not the pot black music, but sort of yeah, I don't know. I sort of recognised it. Maybe people in the comments can help us with that. Yeah. Sadly, no John Virgo commentary in it. But I can imagine that being played over some nice sort of montage of John.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice. I liked it. It was very, very nice, calm piano, very nice sort of melody. But I don't. Yeah, I kind of half recognised it, but I don't know what it is. And so for the first time, Joe, I'm going to say I can't give it a rating until I know what it is, until I know what relevance that is to snooker or to JV at the moment. Because at the moment, I don't feel like I have enough context to really value it and to really get what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I absolutely get you. I really like it, so I'm gonna give it a placeholder score until we find out more. Tom's gonna do some sleuthing, I think.
Comment below because we've got so many people who love snooker. Someone must know what that was.
I'm gonna give it a 7 though, Tom, because I really like that music. So it will have an average of 7 for now. Let us see where that puts it then. So there's quite a few on 7 these days. So this could very easily it is level. It's level with Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Joe Johnson. So There's some crackers in here. We've got Green Green Grass of Home by Dominic Dale. We've got Man's Long Pot by Peter Devlin. My Old Man's a Dustman, Stephen Hendry's Rubbish. Snooker Loopy by Matt Rowney, of course, Matt from Middlesbrough, and Snooker Loopy by Stuart Bingham, all on 7s. And Virgo the Entertainer pops in at number 32 with that there. And for the first time, viewers at home can see the league table on the screen while I was delivering that. So there you go. It's over there. Wrong way, Tom. Other way. There you go. So yeah, let us know what you think of that down below in the comments. Now then, I don't know whether you want to read out some of the comments that we've had, because you said we've had a deluge of comments today.
Yeah, this is Fangjing email, but it's just YouTube comments today, but some very lovely ones on YouTube. So thank you all very much for commenting below. So, I mean, a question here from Swisher Sweet. I think it's supposed to say is the kid to Big Hig Metamorphosis the biggest in snooker history?
Ooh.
I would say it's the second biggest change. I think the first biggest change is the fact that Fergal O'Brien used to be called the baby-faced assassin.
Yeah, well, yes, that's true. That is true. And Stephen Hendry, the Golden Bane, as well. Yeah, that's quite a nice one. Yeah, no, that's a fun little thought.
I got a comment from Data Boy who says, I was at the Masters and Rob Walker did give Wu a nickname. He has the best hair in snooker. It's Wu, the do, is a. It was so funny. Dear. It was so funny, but I have a feeling that Wu may have told him to stop.
Yeah, that's not his finest, is it?
And then someone comments, I think something similar happened with Rafai. Rob named him the gardener because he had a spell of making plants.
The gardener is quite good. Prince of Persia is very, very cliche for Rafai, I think.
I like the fact it's like a video game, though. To be fair, I like Silent Assassin. I like the fact that if it was like Rob Walker's secretly a nerd, that he's gonna eventually he's gonna call someone.
Well, we'll know it when he goes. Without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to the players. Oh, he goes. Let's give them a big hand.
We'll talk about that. Just after the Fanjang email, because that's very funny. But Colin says Choo Choo Woo would work. Rolls over.
That's a cracker.
Because he rolls over opponents like a train.
Yeah, fair enough. I can get behind that. Choo Choo Woo. Even if it might be slightly racist, but you know.
Woo Swisher Sweet the comments again saying Woo is a Q wizard. I quite like that. And then we've got the last one I'm going to read is a comment from Jonathan Ward who says, Hi Lance, got a question for you. In your opinion, why do certain players have more cue power than others? Is it down to purely technique, quality of the cue, arm span, grip, length of the bridge hand, follow through, etc.? I've always wondered this, especially looking at Trump, who can play power shots most other players can't. But why? What does he do that's different? I think in Trump's case, I think it's overcompensating for having a small willy.
Yeah, Judd Trumpy, you know. I mean, fair enough, Tom. I wasn't expecting you to come out with that. I thought it was going to be about his thin hairline, but you know, yeah. Well, speaking of what you might have been saying, it's all in the wrist. It's all in the wrist. Basically, it's wrist speed. You know, when you're, you know, the waggling, as Stephen Hendry calls it. You know, when you're playing a power shot, it's the sort of back and forth motion and then a quick flick of the wrist. So it's all in that. It's timing. That's where cue power comes from. There is an element to it which is length of bridge hand as well. Obviously, the closer you are to the cue ball, the less you're pulling back the cue. Therefore, you know, you've got sort of less time to build up that acceleration with the cue. So there's elements to everything, but a lot of it is in the wrist and that wrist movement. So you've either got it or you've not.
It's all in the wrist. Yeah, it's all in the wrist. It's all in the wrist. Yeah, it's all in the wrist.
Thank you, Tom.
No worries. I thought you'd like that. But yeah, that's fans' email for today. Thank you everyone
Brilliant.
for all your lovely comments. Some proper crackers in there, really funny ones.
Yeah, and do keep them coming.
Really interesting thing about the whole cue power, because you'd think it, you know, if it was just someone massive like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, they'd have a really strong cue power. But it's not about muscle, is it? It's about technique.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you know, you do get, you know, some of the sort of broader players like Stephen Maguire or Stephen Lee. But John Higgins doesn't have that great a cue power, to be fair. And I think he's got quite a short bridge hand. But yeah, Judd Trump's quite lean. Obviously, Wu, lean and keen. He's got a lot of cue power. So you know, a lot of it is in the wrist. And yeah, it's an interesting one. But I wonder if you could like build yourself up, you know. I want to see this really ripped snooker player come in and see if they can really, you know, hammer the balls in. That would be
I'd like
funny.
to say that. But there are some probably. I mean, there must be some bigger pool players who have a lot of cue power for similar reason. But I don't. Yeah, great question. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, thought-provoking. If anybody's got any more scientific ideas down in the comments, please do. And obviously get in touch as well. snookerloopypodcast@gmail.com. During the live stream tomorrow, we will read out any of your comments. Of course, there will be a live chat as well. But we will be sort of commentating on the action. So how much we respond to in that live chat will vary.
I think we should a bit though, because I used to love.
Yeah, no, we will. We absolutely
they
will.
used to do that, didn't they? For a while, they used to actually encourage people to sort of use a hashtag or to text in, and there used to be a bit
snooker
more
pulse as well. You know, we can bring back the snooker pulse.
Yeah, we're bringing it back. Everyone's been asking for it. Do you know what I mean? We're bringing it right back into 2026.
Yeah, we're going to have polls galore. And who do you think's going to win this session? Is there going to be a 1-4-7 and all of that? But yeah, really, really excited for that. And that will sort of replace our day 14 podcast. There won't be another podcast on the Saturday morning, if you like. Our next one after that will be our World Championship final preview episode after the conclusion of the semi-finals, which I guess we could potentially see the end of a session in that match that we're commentating on. So that could be very exciting.
Yeah,
if it's
it could be.
done with a session to spare.
Oh, I mean, we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, Joe's commentary reference there earlier was a reference to some commentary files. Basically, Joe has recently bought World Snooker 2009 on PC, and he's managed to extract the commentary from the disc somehow, and it's just. It's wonderful how bad the announcer is. He at one point he goes, "Here come the players. Please give them a big hand." And He sounds so miserable.
He really does, and we're going to do a proper deep dive on all of this stuff because there's so many things hidden in there. For those of you that have played the later World Snooker Championship games, so 2007, 2009, 2011, you'll know that John Virgo sort of recorded some new lines for those games where he talked about the history of snooker and who he thought the greatest player of all time was, and all sorts of nonsense, cucumber sandwiches, and hang on, you can't do that. I've found on this disc that he recorded over 750 new lines of commentary, of which I think we've heard probably about 100 to 200. So there's so many new comments, which I think is just so fitting now that we sadly will never have new John Virgo lines, that somehow we've managed to source these things and we can, listen to those. So we're going to basically put them all into one big video and upload it for people to just listen to and have a good chuckle, because it is hilarious. It really is. The fact they got him to record those things.
Yeah. Well, if someone must have wrote some of them, because there's quite a famous one where he talks about cucumber sandwiches. And
Yeah.
Joe, do you want to just say how that goes? Can you remember it?
I could murder a cucumber sandwich right about now, topped off with plenty of salad cream.
And then for my friend Duncan's 30th birthday, I got him a video message from John Virgo, and I wanted him to say something to Duncan about saying that Duncan really liked cucumber sandwiches. And in the video, John Virgo goes like, "Oh, cucumber sandwiches with salad cream. Oh, I couldn't eat them. It'd repeat on me." So I was just thought,
Not for me. Not for me.
So I thought, why is that line in the game? Who wrote that, or what?
Yeah,
no idea.
it's crazy. Some of the lines in there are bonkers. And yeah, we'll just have a really good time listening to those at some point as a sort of cue the laughter episode, if you like. That'll be great.
I always love the ones when you're playing a game and he goes, "I swear I could hear someone pressing buttons somewhere."
Pretty much every time somebody takes a shot. Ah, well. Then he's like, I still get down the club for an old practice every now and then, but I must say recently I've been playing World Championship snooker on the games console as well. It's fantastic fun. Oh, bless him. Bless him. Well, it probably seems an opportune time, Tom, to cue the laughter, shall we?
Let's cue the laughter, Joe. Absolutely. What have we got today?
Well, Tom, you found something rather good. I think we talked about this on the podcast yesterday, didn't we?
This was the feature yesterday as part of the coverage, where basically someone, Steve Davis is interviewing someone doing an impression of Steve Davis. And it was a feature on the BBC coverage. And interestingly, I've kind of been aware of this guy on YouTube for a while, because he's done videos before doing impressions of Willie Fawn and or Willie Fawn when he was with us, and JV and stuff like that. So he's some sort of impressionist who clearly likes snooker. And quite.
It's funny though, Tom, because Alistair McGowan, is he another one? He does a lot of snooker impressions. But none of them could ever do Dennis.
Well, Joe, I think we need to get you a show reel. So I want this to be Joe next year. I want Joe to be talking to Dennis as Dennis. I think that has to happen now.
Well, a very good evening, Dennis, and good evening, everybody at home.
Right, someone clip that and send it to the BBC snooker team and go, right, you can't do Steve without Dennis. You need to complete the set. Get Joe chatting to Dennis, please.
Yeah, and I can take my Dennis Taylor and Steve Davis ball with me. Yes. Well, shall we give it a whirl, Tom? Let's give it a watch and see all about Steve Davis meeting the real Steve Davis.
Steve, thanks for joining me. I suppose the first question is, what does the Crucible mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a marvellous venue. Started here for me, 1981, won my first title. Still get a buzz sort of coming in, so amazing.
So, Steve, where do you think you rank today amongst the top players?
Well, there's so many marvellous players playing now. I mean, when I played and dominated in the 80s, there wasn't sort of player the level of Ronnie O'Sullivan or Judd Trump. So if I could get top 16, I'd be happy with that.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, Judd Trump. I mean, the player from the 80s that was the master tactician, I'd slaughter them. I mean, 6 times world champion.
Good point. So let's talk now about the 85 final. Should we talk about it?
Okay.
I remember getting to the table. I got out of my chair and suddenly my legs didn't feel like my legs. And my arms, they didn't feel like my arms. And I got up to it. I said, don't hit it thick. Don't hit it thick. And I didn't. I hit it thin. And I walked back to my chair. I know I just lost the World Championship. I mean, if I had my chance again, I don't think I'd change anything.
That's what I've said. Oh, that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. What was it, 18 million on the TV?
And a half.
Wow.
How did you cope with it after?
Well, I
didn't.
didn't.
No, nor did I.
I went home and I cried all night.
Yeah,
Memories. I feel quite emotional with it, actually.
I am.
And I could see
You got me. I've got to go now.
Cheers, Steve.
Bye.
And a sad champion, Steve Davis, looks on.
Well, thank you to our impressionist James Howard for that. That was good. Did you enjoy interviewing Steve then?
Yeah, it was great fun. I've been watching him on Instagram. He does so many impressions of the players. He's very funny. He takes the mickey out of us all, and I'm sure he's going to have lots more material after watching this year's World Championship. And the great thing about it, when he does impressions of the players, he's a player as well.
Yeah.
So he actually plays shots, decent level, and then does impressions of us. He's John Higgins, he's John Parrott's great, he's Phil Yates, he's great. He's a great guy.
We have to get him to do an impression of Ken next.
Oh, that's great, Tom. That is great. I mean, Steve Davis, what a sport he is. Like, he really is, isn't he? I think he's one of the most underappreciated snooker people, actually.
Especially for someone who originally, of course, was famous for supposedly being boring. You know, and similar to, you know, I guess Hendry in his pomp was known as quite a robotic personality, but definitely both have shown they've got a bit more charisma, a bit more about them after they hung up their cue. And yeah, I love how, you know, up for laughing at himself Steve is, whether it's stuff like that or whether it's like the Snooker Christmas Carol we've talked about before. He's not afraid to be silly and just have a bit of a joke, which is wonderful and lovely for him there to, you know, make sure he mentioned James's Instagram and the other things he does, because it just shows he's a very a generous person, that he wants to, you know, help someone else out. And we should look up more of those impressions. I think there's definitely
we absolutely will. You know, I think those are future Cue the Laughters. Definitely, we do love a good old impression, don't we? But that's not all, Tom. We've got one more final section of today's podcast, which is, of course, Quiz Wakeling.
Okay, here we go. It's my turn, because Joe did Judd Trump recently, and
he did it
now
badly. I am going to be testing Tom on potpourri is what it's called in here, or potpourri if you want to want to say it posh, which is basically mixed, quirky topics. Each of the colours has its own category, which is interesting. The reds are still true or false, but all of it is different categories, which I'll only reveal to Tom when he selects that colour. So, the way it'll work, Tom will compile his break. He goes for a red, then a colour, red, then a colour, and he gets 3 misses. And if he misses 3 times, he is out, sadly, and concedes the frame. So, Tom, anything to say before you meet your destiny?
I'm just hoping that I can get a break in double figures, because I have no idea what this is going to be like at all. So, or a score in double figures even.
So the leading score from the WST book is me on Ding Junhui. 30 points I got. You got 34 on the nicknames game we did earlier in the championship. So, are you ready, Tom?
Yes, let's do this.
Here we go. So the reds are snooker history. Test your knowledge on the early days of snooker.
Oh, God.
So, true or false? The first professional snooker match was staged in 1926.
Well,
I tell you what, Hazel.
Hazel, these questions are tight. I know 1927 is the 100-year anniversary of, I believe, the World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
So presumably there'd be professional matches before then. It's just whether 26 is right or not, but I'm going to go true.
Correct. 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Get in.
Pick a colour.
Brown.
The brown. Okay. The brown is nationalities. From which countries do the following players, past and present, come from? Okay, number 1. Amir Sarkosh. I will spell it for you. The surname. Sarkhos. Amir Sarkosh. Or Sarkos.
Iran.
Correct. 5. Okay, back to the reds. Snooker tables were originally 10 foot long.
True.
Sadly, Tom, it's false. So, still on 5.
Okay.
We will go for another red question.
How long were they originally? Do we know?
I don't know. It doesn't actually say. Joe Davis beat a player called Les Dennis in the first World Championship final.
I mean, I'm going to go false.
Correct. 6. It
Does
was
it say
somebody
who
called Tom Dennis. So
okay. Yeah. Les his dad.
Yes, right. Pick a colour.
I'm going to stay on brown, you know. I'm quite good at nationalities.
Ooh. Right. Bulshurevesh.
Hungary.
Correct. 10. Okay. Joe Davis was never English amateur champion.
True.
Correct. 11. Okay. Another colour?
Brown.
Okay. Brady Gollan.
Oh my God.
Gollan.
Oh, I don't know this one. It must be an old player. How do you spell Brady?
Brady.
Just because it sounds like it could be something from America or around the area, I'm going to guess Canada.
Nice guess. Well done.
Oh! Come on!
15. Okay. Question 5 for the red. Fred Davis was the second player to win the World Championship.
Mm. Why would he not be the first?
Fred Davis.
Fred Davis.
Not Joe Davis.
Yeah, but isn't it his brother? Didn't they play a lot? Is that right?
Well, yeah, Joe Davis. Joe Davis was the first world champion, wasn't he? But
I'm going to go false.
yeah, it is false. Correct. So 16. No. Yes. 16. Okay, what colour?
Brown.
Brown. I might have to ban you from the brown in a minute, Tom. The whole point of this is that we're trying different categories. Jim Donnelly.
Republic of Ireland.
Oh, it's knuckled and it's stayed up, I'm afraid, Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Scotland.
Well, that'll be me off brown then, because I've missed
He's
the
off
brown.
the Browns, yeah. Okay, so you are on 16, and we are back to red. The first non-British World Championship finalist was from New Zealand.
For some reason, I think it might be Australian, so I'm going to go false.
Well, is it going to reach? Is it going to reach? No, it's not. It's going to hang over the pocket. It was true.
Oh,
So, Tom Mayhew, you score 16.
I was thinking it was going to be Horace Lindrum, or one of those weird people Dennis always mentions.
However, because it's fun, I'm not going to... this won't count, but I will allow you to pick one more colour to answer another question.
A free ball?
It won't count. It's just a free ball. It's worth 0, but just for you to try something.
All right, let's just try blue then, shall we?
A blue. So a blue is referees. Complete the names of these past and present leading officials.
Yes, please.
So, from Scotland, Laurie who?
Cunningham.
Not a terrible guess. Annandale. Annandale.
Yeah.
So there you go. So you got that wrong, but there's going to be some good stuff in there actually.
I was hoping you were going to say
future.
Jan, and I was going to go Jan Bahas.
Well, Tom, maybe if he's got that question right, who knows? So 16 points there for Tom. That's a very, very respectable score, and that puts him into joint 8th with himself on Sean Murphy. So there you go. There you go. But yeah, you're doing very well with this, Tom. So very, very good. Very good. Okay, so I think that is where we're going to leave it for today. Of course, been a pleasure as always, Tom. Nice to get all of our features in. Remember, there won't be a podcast rounding up tomorrow's play. We'll probably talk about it during our commentary tomorrow or tonight as you're listening to this. Tonight at 7 o'clock UK time, we will be live on the airwaves on YouTube, so make sure you join us in the chat and watch along with the third session of the John Higgins and Sean Murphy semi-final match. It's going to be a cracker, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, it is. And just to make sure people are fully aware, we're not going to be streaming the footage. You won't be able to watch the match by watching our stream. It'll probably be just something a bit like this, but us looking at telly. We can't broadcast it, so you'd have to watch it on a separate screen, have us in your ears, that kind of vibe.
Yeah, just sort of sync it up. We'll obviously tell you when things are happening. You can sync up as best as you can. And yeah, really looking forward to it. So we will catch you later on tonight then, 7 o'clock UK time, we will be back and we'll be watching The Wizard versus the Magician. Catch you for that.